The worst case scenario seems to be a gap between 110 years and 50 years. So it could be quite a brutal day of sentencing behind you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And it's a wide range, as you say, and our understanding is that these proceedings are now underway. Sam Bankman-Fried, dressed in a tan prison jumpsuit, is in the courtroom with his counsel, his new counsel. He took on new lawyers after he was found guilty of orchestrating that massive fraud. And our understanding is that they have gone through what's known as the pre-sentence report. That is kind of this corpus, this document that details the fraud that Sam Bankman-Fried committed, some biographical information about him as well. And now they're getting down to brass tacks, and that is what kind of sentence he should face. And there is, as you would expect, a lot of disagreement among the parties about that. At the core of this, and it's something that we talked about a lot on the Big Take podcast, is how much money was actually lost here. So in that massive fraud, investors lost money, customers lost money, and lenders lost money. There was this surprising development a few months back, Manus, and that is in the bankruptcy proceedings, bankruptcy lawyers said they actually feel pretty good that they're going to be able to make a lot of the folks who lost money whole again. And what the defense is saying is, given that, essentially, no harm, no foul, you can't fault Sam Bankman-Fried for the entirety of this massive fraud. Prosecution saying that's not the way this works effectively. You can't rob Fort Knox, buy a bunch of lottery tickets, win the lottery, then say, look, we've all turned out better than we did before all of this happened. So that's really the crux of what's going to be happening today, haggling among the defense, the prosecution, the judge over what that sentencing should be.
And it's interesting when you look at the likes of Bernie Madoff, of course, his $20 billion Ponzi scheme, sentenced in 2009 to 150 years, sort of sets a precedent, because this was one of the largest white-collar crimes going on behind you that sentencing is taking place in. It's about messaging as well to the industry, David, isn't it?
It is, and we heard that explicitly from the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, after this verdict was entered a few months back. He said that this case moved quickly on purpose. He wanted to send a message to all fraudsters, but certainly fraudsters in the digital assets and crypto world specifically. It's interesting, and I guess we have to wait and see sort of how resonant that message is going to be, and I think the severity of this sentence is going to determine that. But as you know well, Manus, when you look at how Bitcoin has been doing and other cryptocurrencies, it's as if this didn't happen, that this was a blip. And I think that that's something that law enforcement and regulators are going to have to reckon with here in the coming weeks and months, just how much of a deterrent this is going to be. But it's certainly something that's being brought to bear in this sentencing memo from the prosecution. They want, yes, a punitive side of this. They want Sam Bankman-Fried to be punished, but they do want a message to be sent to folks in crypto, in finance broadly, that you cannot have this kind of malfeasance, concoct this kind of scheme and execute it, and not expect to pay some sort of penalty for it.